Death is an unchangeable reality that no one in the world can deny or stop. We see many funerals with our own eyes, but all we can do is silently watch, because the creator of this universe has set a law. Every living thing must one day face death. But have you ever wondered why a person who doesn't believe in the afterlife or any religion is still so terrified of death? Science provides us many reasons. Scientific studies show that the fear of death, called thanatophobia, is essentially a natural survival response. Human nature is to fear the unknown, and death is the greatest unknown of all. Nobody on earth knows what life looks like after death, unless someone were to rise from the grave and tell us. It is this unknown world after death that creates anxiety. Even a person who tries to deny it has no evidence to prove their denial. In today's modern age, humans have tried countless times to stop the first sign of death: aging. While we've managed to slow aging to some extent, we've never been able to stop the body from eventually growing old and dying. Some of the richest people in the world have spent their entire fortunes chasing immortality, but the results turned out opposite to what they hoped. Many of them died before even reaching their natural lifespan. The best example is the famous American singer and dancer Michael Jackson. He wanted to defeat nature itself and hated four things deeply. First, he hated his black skin and wanted to look like white people. Second, he hated obscurity. He wanted to be the most famous person in the world. Third, he hated his past and wanted to completely cut it away. Fourth, he hated the idea of dying at the normal age of 70 or 80. He wanted to live for 150 years and become the first singer to perform a final song at 150 years old in front of millions, kiss his 25-year-old girlfriend on the forehead, and then leave the world before a cheering crowd. The last years of Michael Jackson's life were spent chasing these four desires. After enormous success, he fulfilled three of them. He lightened his skin, cut ties with his past, and even created a new family, adopting white parents and having a son and daughter through biological methods. Finally, it was time to fulfill the fourth wish. But suddenly, he began struggling to breathe. His doctors called in top specialists from across the country, but they failed to save him. When home treatments failed, they rushed him to the hospital. The man who had planned to live 150 years, who never walked barefoot on the ground, and who hadn't eaten anything without a doctor's approval for 25 years, died at the age of just 50. Within 30 minutes, his autopsy revealed that his body had caution. He was bald, his ribs were broken, and his hips, shoulders, ribs, and legs were covered with injection marks. He was dependent on painkillers and had undergone multiple plastic surgeries. Despite all this care and a team of doctors, he couldn't escape death. Some conspiracy theories claim that Sony conspired with his doctors to poison him in order to gain the rights to his songs and their massive earnings. But whatever the reason, Michael Jackson's death is a loud announcement to humanity. A person can conquer the world, but can never conquer fate. Science explains that the human brain is wired to cherish life's pleasures, emotions, memories, relationships, failures, and successes. Death announces the end of all these things, a thought unbearable to the mind. Imagine a person who has bought every luxury in the world with money. Wouldn't the fear of losing that wealth haunt him forever? Wouldn't death become his greatest fear? Our survival instinct tries to protect us from danger, and death stands as its ultimate challenge. That's why even the thought of death unsettles the brain. Throughout history, humans have tried to defeat death. For 1,000 years ago, Egyptian pharaohs preserved their bodies through mummification so their souls could return. But their servants, armies, and limitless wealth could not save them. A Chinese emperor even consumed toxic mercury in a bid for immortality, which only hastened his death. Whether a rock star, a celebrity, a pharaoh, or an emperor, no one can escape death. Even if a pharaoh, a Chinese emperor, or Michael Jackson could medically extend their life, how would they avoid accidents, fires, drowning, or sudden disasters? Today, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has invested $3 billion in a company called Altos Labs, which is researching how to reverse aging. His dream is for humans to defeat death and live forever. But how is that even possible? Here's what science knows so far. The human body is made of trillions of cells that constantly divide. This division is controlled by chromosomes and the DNA inside them, which store coded instructions from birth. If DNA is a 100-page book, we have barely understood even a single page. But we do know that the ends of chromosomes have protective caps called telomeres. As we age, these caps shorten. When they wear down, cell division stops and the body begins to age. Medical scientists are trying to stop telomeres from shrinking, something some creatures like jellyfish and hydra can naturally do. These animals never die of old age. They die only from accidents. Scientists have already succeeded in altering DNA in mice to slow aging and even rejuvenate them. What about humans who are already born? This is why many of the world's richest people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to have their bodies frozen in liquid nitrogen, hoping that future technology might revive them and give them a second life. It's the same wish that Egyptian pharaohs held thousands of years ago at the moment of death. Hollywood has also explored this idea in films. For example, the 2023 movie Paradise imagines a future where an advanced company can buy years of life from poor people and sell them to the rich, making the wealthy young again. Bezos's company might one day try to turn this fantasy into reality. Meet Bryan Johnson. You've probably seen him somewhere on social media with headlines claiming he's the man who reversed aging through science, technology, and diet. Right now, he's 47 years old, and during his anti-aging experiments, he tried every method he believed might work. He even went so far as to extract plasma from his 17-year-old son's blood and inject it into his own body, hoping that young blood would bring his youth back. This man spends $2 million every year on staying young. He takes about 104 pills every day, sleeps 9 hours nightly, uses a red light room, takes ice baths, undergoes Botox procedures, and performs special gym exercises designed to reverse aging. There is almost nothing he hasn't tried to make every organ, his heart, liver, lungs, function as if he were a 20-year-old. But after testing all these methods, he admitted something. My organs may be biologically younger than my actual age, but my face continues to age. As the fat in my face decreases with age, I start to look older, and I can't control it. If he tries to add more fat to his diet to fill out his face, that fat spreads through his whole body, which would force him to abandon his strict diet plan. To solve this, he took facial fat from a donor and injected it into his own face. After this procedure, the results made him look unexpectedly different. At one point, he even resembled Donald Trump. Eventually, after adjusting his diet to include more fat, his face returned to a more normal appearance, but the truth remains. No matter what you do, completely stopping aging is still impossible. Slowing it down, however, is possible. The effects of aging are still visible on his face despite all his efforts. Even in ancient times, many people lived long lives simply because of their diet and hard physical work. History mentions nations whose lifespans were far greater than ours. But in the end, they too faced the same reality, death.